Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining, everybody. My name is Jeff, and today we are going to be doing a blind whiskey review. I was provided a box of samples from our good friend Todd over at the Bourbon Road podcast. You can follow the Bourbon Road wherever you follow podcasts, be it Spotify or Apple. And I have been going through this box blind just to see what is the best sample in the box. All the pours have been pretty great, ranging from an 84 to an 89 on our scoring system, the lowest scoring being E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, with the highest scoring being a 10-year high rye redemption bourbon. But we'll walk through the blind sample here together, going through the tasting notes, the experience, but then also getting into a little bit of the history of this brand after we get into the reveal. So thank you for joining today, whiskey friends. Let's kick off the show. All right. Always fun hanging out with you on the back porch while we get to review some whiskey. But we do have the special blind box right here, and we are down to just 5 samples left. So if you're curious on any of the other videos in the series, you can check them out on the channel. And if you're still here, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment, leave a hype. All of it helps the channel grow. But let's play a little battleship here as we get into it. Let's go with the bottom corner one. Now, I'm going to do everything I can not to look at this label because we want this to be as blind as possible so that we are not persuaded at all by the brand or even the color of the whiskey. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to feel out the label so that I can show it to you. And hopefully this camera does its thing and zooms in so you will be in the know even before I am at the end. So today we will be discussing this sample. So I am hoping that the camera is doing its thing there and is focusing in on the sample for you so that you can see the lettering of what we are about to drink. So I'll continue to rotate it here. And that is what we are going to be discussing here today. And now I'm going to take this, and I have a pitch black Glen in front of me. And we are going to take this sample, take off the cap, pour it into the Glen. And now as we go through this process, put the cap back on, put the bottle in my pocket, and I am now blind on what we are drinking. Now here on the channel, we do have a robust scoring system comprised of various flavor, experience, and value metrics. Aggregate those together, and you can see how this whiskey compares to other whiskeys. Thus far, everything in the series has scored between an 84 to an 89. Thus been a very, very good blind flight. As we go through the experience, I will guide you through the scores, what I'm thinking each step of the way as we go through the nose and throughout the palate. And then we'll get into the final score, the reveal, and then dive into more about this brand once I am in the know. So cheers, everybody. Let's get into this whiskey. And thank you again to our good friend Todd. Man, right off the bat, this nose has some really, really good things going on. I'm going to have to break this one down a bit. But initial impressions were, geez, just a lot of depth going on that I want to break down. Effervescence going on up front. So more of this clean, bright, citrusy type flavors. But then a deeper oak, even getting into not only char and darker oak elements, but not necessarily darker in terms of the age, but then even getting into like some chocolatey type notes. And then I was starting to get into even some honey characteristics. There's a dark cherry, even drifting into a grape area there. Some nice baking spices again, leaning itself into a sweet range. Again, almost like a moist chocolate cake more than anything else there. Yeah, I must admit, this nose has me very, very excited on this one. I'm going to give the nose here an 8.5. I'm going to go 9 on the flavors. I mean, I love this nose. I'm going to go 8 on complexity. I mean, I'm just really digging the combination of that effervescence, the honey, and that chocolate cake and those darker oak elements. But again, not calling this one old, but maybe just like a solid 8-year across the board that's got some heavy char on it. But yes, very excited and intrigued and really hoping that the palate lives up to what was happening on that note. So cheers, everybody. Let's go in for a taste. off that first sip, it's good. This is gonna be a positive review. Like I'm getting all of those elements up front, that chocolate cake, the cherry note. There's a little bit of a nuttiness there. Transition to mid palate is gorgeous as well. All the flavors get dialed up. Some vanilla cream comes in. The chocolate cake continues to shine. Fruits are coming through. There's a little bit of spiciness. And all that carries on pretty consistently through what is a pretty good medium to medium long finish. Man, this flavor profile is just right up my alley, though. I am really enjoying this. Let's break down each of the elements here as we go through it. Man, yeah, this flavor range is like right up my alley. I'm going to give it a 9 on the initial flavor blast that it gives you on the front of the palate. Only gave it an 8 on the mouthfeel though. Like it's nice and creamy and oily. Coats everything very well, but it's really the flavors that are sticking out to me more than the technical elements on this one. The transition to the mid palate though, that's where this beauty shines. Gave it a 9 on the flavors and a 9 on complexity. Debated a bit with a 9 on complexity, but man, it's ticking all the boxes for me. I mean, a honey-soaked chocolate cake with a little bit of lemon zest in there, with essentially a cherry reduction sauce on top of it. And then the oak just comes in and keeps kind of playing around in there too. And then as we transition to the finish, that nuttiness begins to emerge a bit more. More like a softer nut, even almost in a butter sauteed walnut kind of a range with some sugar in there. So generally sweet too. I gave it an 8 on the length of the finish, but man, I keep going back and debating that one. Could give it a 9, but I'll stick with the scores here because this is getting pretty high already. Balance, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 as well. But yeah, this is just a gorgeous whiskey. I can't wait to see what this one is. Let's see the final scores on this one. Yeah, we tally that all together, man. We are a very, very good 88 out of 100. It is very unlike me on all the reviews that I do with all my spreadsheets behind the scenes to be rating something higher on the flavor side than the experience side. It actually left a lot of points on the floor on the more technical elements with the complexity, the mouthfeel, and the length of the finish. But the flavors are just utterly delightful through and through on this one. All right. Let's see what we were getting into here, man. This is pretty exciting. And we were getting into the Evan Williams 250th single barrel, 117.76 proof. Holy crap, that is good. That is so good. I had a chance to buy this once and I passed it up. Oh, immediate bourbon regret on that one. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I think I knew at the time that Todd was sending me a sample and I didn't pull the trigger on it. That is so good. Not to say that that single barrel would have been as good as the single barrel, but wow. All right. So let me share screen here. So let me pull up a Google image search here so that you can see the bottle because I don't have the bottle on me since this is just a sample. But this is the bottle that I'm talking about here. Now, it's the Evan Williams single barrel. Don't confuse this one with the 1783 that you see here. That's just a 90 proof blend. This one is cast strength single barrels. And when I saw this at a store in Ohio, man, it was like 45 bucks. I have so much bourbon regret right now, but I am really happy with all the distilleries this year that came out with these 250th anniversary editions to celebrate this anniversary of the United States. Like there's so many, I don't know, gimmicky hype things that people can do. And I feel like these distilleries really brought their A game on some of these 250th releases. So I think I said these were cast strength earlier. I don't think they actually are. You know, I think the dang proof's a gimmick. The proof is 117.76. So they just proof down all the single barrels that precisely. That's insane to me, if that's actually a thing. And as I look this up, so the retail price was $40. I think I said 45 earlier. And apparently 250 individual barrels were selected for this. So if you just imagine 250 barrels, average yield 150 to 180 bottles, that kind of gives you a sense of how wide this release was. Mash bill on these are 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. And unlike those typical Evan Williams single barrels, you know, the proof on these were at, 117 and some change versus that like 86.6 that you usually see as the proof point in that same similar bottle, but with the black wax rather than the blue wax. But what an absolutely killer release from Heaven Hill. especially at that price. I mean, ages on these tended to be between 7 to 8 years. Just gorgeous, gorgeous whiskey. If you still see these sitting around, gosh, buy. Buy every time. I need to find a DeLorean and tell myself to buy this. I should have this on my shelf right now. I'm so sad. But did you get to try the Evan Williams 250th? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to hit that like. And if you're still here, hit that subscribe, hit the hype, do what you can to help us grow. We really appreciate it. And if you're interested in following us more, there are links in the description to our free Facebook group and Patreon. And you can join those for free if you choose to support the channel. We do really appreciate it. Those who support get the benefit of being the priority for our barrel picks. And just remember, while you can always find more whiskey, you can never have enough whiskey, friends. So take care of those around you, and we will catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Hello again, whiskey friends, everybody. A big shout out to our amazing Patreon community. If it wasn't for you, we couldn't continue to produce the content and barrel picks week after week. And for everybody else out there, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. It really helps the channel more than you know. And we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.